right, folks. Gene Gowan here with the Chatham Journal, and I've got two special guests out here. We're at the Chatham County Ag Center off of, it's off of 64? This is off of
64.
This is
Yeah.
off of 64. Look, you can find it. All right, we're here with Jack Pendergraft. I got that last name right, and Josh Harris. And we're going to talk about, you've got a big event coming up here at the Ag Center. So which one of you wants to kick it off as to letting folks know what this big event is?
Yeah, so it's the Chatham Supplier Expo. It's going to be held on September 18th, 3 to 6 p.m. And the impetus behind this was to connect our larger industries with our small businesses in Chatham County. And it was a project that was kicked off by Central Carolina Community College and Fayetteville Tech. But that initiative was really focused on the public sector, connecting historically underutilized businesses to Chatham County, Lee County, Harnett County, and then the municipalities within those. And Josh and I were a part of that. We thought it would be a really good opportunity to be able to do that with our existing industries. So we have companies like Wolfspeed, Mount Air, D.R. Horton, and several other key industries who are participating in this.
So those are the ones you consider, and I had the question mark, those are the ones you consider larger industries?
Larger industries, yeah. So basically any manufacturer, we also have First Health, Wilson Brothers Trucking, International Vault, anybody who employs typically over 25 people who are going to be large purchasers and users of services like small businesses.
All right, this is my fault. I didn't just pick two guys to come sit here. You need to let folks know what your official titles are and what you do.
Yeah. So I'm Jack Pendergraft with the Chatham Economic Development Corporation. I am the business development manager, and I work primarily with existing industries.
And I'm Josh Harris. I'm the CEO of the Siler Area Chamber of Commerce, located in western part of our county.
Right, and I sat down with Josh several months ago, and we talked about when he took over this position, because some of you may recognize him if you've gone over to JM, as his face is there a lot. And then I found out he actually used to do the announcing for these softball games.
Sparingly,
baseball.
sparingly.
And weather reports.
Yeah.
And in weather reports.
We kept it entertaining.
That's the nice thing about high school sports here in Chatham County. All right. Before we started, you and I had talked about the fact that there had been, Wolfspeed did a supplier expo where they were looking for folks when they were just starting the process of building. I think that was last year. You can find a video of that because I did manage to interview several of the Wolfspeed folks. How is this different, or are you building on some of those same components? Because you do have Wolfspeed out here along with the other folks.
Yeah. So basically, they kind of set the format for this, and we came to it several months ago, and it was really successful. They brought in people from all over the region, Lee County, Wake County, Randolph, Guilford, and Chatham as well. And we were just really impressed with that. We were like, well, why don't we expand that to all of our existing industries? So if you have an open contract, or even not an open contract right now, but a procurement process that requires somewhat routine upkeep, to make connections with folks who are in Chatham County. And so small businesses who are here who may not be connected with a Wolfspeed or a Mount Air or somebody like that, would give them a chance to learn more about their procurement team, and then what kind of insurance and bonding requirements those companies hold.
So it's an opportunity, whether you're in Siler City or anywhere else in Chatham County, to learn about what's involved with becoming a supplier or a vendor for one of these bigger companies. Do you know what some of these requirements are? I mean, people are going to come here to learn about it, but are they like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can jump those hoops? Or what are some of the, do you know what some of those requirements are that they have?
Yeah, so typically a company is going to require at least $1 million worth of collateral insurance, and then each company after that is going to have its own procurement process. So like Wolfspeed has a very detailed portal that you go into to be able to contract with them, to be able to provide services. Some other companies, some smaller companies, may not have that extensive of a process, and so you may be able to actually do work with them directly through a connection that you make at the Supplier Expo.
What size, when you say small business, what size business are we talking about? Because I know when Wolfspeed had
Anybody.
It was anybody. So it's
And that's something that we wanted to make sure was known as well. Is like as we talk about bonding and insurance, like it's kind of intimidating, but this is geared towards literally any business in Chatham County. Our main goal is to build this local economy a little more within our county here and open those doors for those opportunities. So, I guess a key thing for our small businesses is like, don't be intimidated by that process. Like, come learn, come find out. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what doors are going to open, and just getting your name out there, they might refer you to another business as well. So, I think it's important just to know that it is open to anything. I mean, from pressure washing, catering, whether they actually make a product that they could use, or cabling service. I don't know. It's wide open. So,
Yeah.
And that was part of our goal with it was, hey, let's make sure this is a program like anybody and everybody can access.
Yeah, because I think Wolfspeed, when they were out here, they're also receptive to dealing with more local, smaller businesses
Right.
as well as the big guys.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, from your members, Chamber of Commerce members' perspective, it's like, hey, you know what, this is worthwhile for you to come out to do this. Why?
Because it's an opportunity. I
Okay.
mean, it's an opportunity not only in the business sense, but it's an opportunity to learn too. And you can learn these other businesses, what their requirements are. And then even if you're not prepared to do a contract that may be a little bigger than you're scaled for right now, it gives you something to work for as well. So it kind of paints a picture for you as you continue to grow your business.
Okay, so the event is September 18th, and going back to your example, if I'm a new business, but I'm not quite ready, we talked earlier, Wolfspeed hasn't finished building yet. So
Right.
even though you may not be ready on September 18th to start working as a vendor supplier for one of these bigger companies, you can learn how to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah. So the idea is that these companies are going to bring their procurement managers or finance directors who can explain that process to folks in small business. And this is a cost-free event. All you have to do is register. We have that. We've circulated those links, but we'll continue to do that. And just come out and see what those requirements are and how you can get involved with them. I mean, I think it's very low barrier to entry. It's a 3-hour floating event, so come whenever is best for you, and learn who's here, who the folks are, and hopefully you can make a connection that's valuable for you.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Right.
We're also
Free,
going
free, free.
We're also going to compile our attendees into a database as well, and then we're going to share that with those companies that attended. So that way, in the future, if they need to go back through and look through that list, like maybe they're not looking for it today, but they might in 4 months. So that gives them a space of, we know these people are local. Because we heard that a lot as we were gathering information, because I mean, we didn't just throw this together in the last couple of weeks. We've been working on it for what, like 8-9 months now.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of legwork and talking with folks and trying to learn what the needs are, and that was one of them. Is they wanted almost a role to be able to go to in the future too. So you can come get in front of them, meet face to face, shake a hand, and then they might call you 4 months from now or something.
Right.
So,
Well, here's my challenge to all you folks out there, because I used to tell folks, if you go to any event, and I do this myself, is you need to make sure you meet at least one person. I don't think that's a high challenge bar. So here's my challenge to you: meet at least one new person. I don't know if you have business cards or not. Just if you're not on LinkedIn yet, that might be a good place to get in there and get to know some of these folks, because you know what, you met Josh here, and you met Josh and Jack. It's J&J. But you want to make sure you meet some of those folks and be nice to them. so that way, that first impression, come on.
it goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, you went to school, you played baseball.
Correct.
Right, and the thing is, if you want to talk sports. Find something that's common. If you're an ECU person,
Well, as long as you're an ECU fan, we can talk sports.
But no, it's you're looking to make those kind of connections. It sounds like you're here. I know the goal is, if you're a Chatham County local business,
Right.
we want you to come in here and expose yourself to the opportunities that you have. What would make it a success for both of you folks at 6 o'clock, at 6:01, once this event starts wrapping up? What would make it a success for both of you?
Quality conversations.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, there would be contracts that were signed, by the time that they left the door, or at least, a pledge made to the small businesses or to the larger firms that, they can be a service provider. but to connect any small business representative with someone who has a procurement need, and then maybe set them up for a future procurement opportunity would be that would be success in my eyes, and to continue. I mean, as Chatham County is growing, to continue that relationship between our small businesses and our larger industries.
You mentioned holding on or creating a list of the attendees. Are you going to have them fill out some card or provide some information? I could say, hey, I'm Gene Gallen with G&G, but are you going to need to know, I guess, my email, contact information, and what industry I'm in? Or?
Yeah, we have a registration link. You can find it through our website, Salary Area Chamber. You can find it through the EDC as well. But then even when they come in, we'll have that list printed, but you can obviously walk in too. So even if you don't register, you can still come, and then we'll have a sign-in sheet and gather there, and that allows us to kind of make connections too, because it's good for us to have those connections with our small businesses that are coming, because we get referrals sometimes, and they're like, hey, do you know who does this? And it's here you go. Here's 3 businesses that do that, and then you put it in their hands and let them go from there.
Well, your responsibilities as the CEO of the Western Siler City, Western Area Chamber of Commerce is a little bit different than your responsibilities. So what are your responsibilities as a chamber president versus your responsibilities over at EDC?
They kind of coexist pretty well. I think me and Jack have worked well together on stuff, but from the the chamber aspect of it, it's garnering that support from our membership, and then working for our membership on what do they need, what do they want. So our role is to listen to our membership, but also find those avenues that might be valuable to our members as well, and help guide those directions and open doors.
And existing industry representatives like me work with Josh, but the EDC kind of has a dual mandate to retain businesses and also attract new businesses in. So what I do as part of that retention, so we do business roundtables, work to find expansion funding for companies, but we primarily work with larger industries like Wolfspeed, Mount Air, Arauco, Southern Veneer, 3M, those folks. Chambers tend to work more with small businesses, although they do have large firms in their membership. We just have more tools to access, state funding, federal funding to help those larger industries flourish in Chatham County.
And you also do a job of informing the public, and I saw Michael Smith had done a presentation for the Chatham County School Board, and the information he provided was actually led toward the fact that a lot of Chatham County, because it's growing, you're going to need a greater need for schools in the future. He also mentioned the cooperation with CCCC as to programming it. So it looks like, and we talked about education as well, the fact that you don't necessarily have to go to college for 4 years. You can go to a community college and get a good paying job. So is that one of the other things you're striving for?
Yeah, we're working hard towards a program to incorporate our schools and kind of bridge that gap between our high school age kids and those that want to enter the workforce, and help them find those opportunities that are locally, and help connect those employers locally to those potential employees in the future. So that it's a work in progress right now, but we're making some big strides towards it, and I'm excited on how that's going to turn out.
And CCCC is a big workforce development partner for us. So they have upskilling programs like the customized training initiative that they take on, and they have several of those active in Chatham County now. They also do partnerships with existing industries for like a maintenance fundamentals class. They work with 3M and a couple of other firms in Lee County. They work with them to kind of bring their professional experience and train the folks up who may be operators that want to go to technicians. And so, it's kind of a continuing education piece of that too. But yeah, I mean, we get asked, when we host, global firms on site visits, they ask us about our school system, and it's an important selling point for what we have going on here.
Actually, about this earlier, we're going to go a little bit. We're going to still stay talking about business, but we're going to go off the topic of the Supplier Expo. How your Wednesday? What was it? Wake Up Wednesdays going? You did that at the
Wake Up with the Chamber.
Wake Up with the Chamber. Okay.
Yeah. It's been going well. So we had obviously the summer folks are traveling and stuff, but it never fails every time. It's, man, people, they enjoy it, they hang out, they talk, and it's just some really good relationships that get built there. And Sherry and her crew at Cowboy Cafe, I mean, if y'all need lunch, go to Cowboy Cafe. But
Plug for Cowboy Cafe.
yeah, they're great, man. They are awesome, and they open the doors, and they're always just beaming when we come in there. So it's a great atmosphere. It's really good. It's low key. We have a good time with it, but we've seen some really positive results from it too. So it's always encouraging.
Well, speaking of vendors, I mean, food vendors can show up at this thing as well.
Anybody who wants to come should come. Anybody who's interested in doing business with making new connections or just doing business with larger firms should come to this. I mean, like I said, it's no cost, it's very low barrier to entry. You just have to register through our page, and we'll share the information about who comes and hopefully make a few connections along the way.
Yeah, because that's a good note, because I remember Monter's Thousands for Thanksgiving event.
Thanksgiving for Thousands.
They actually had a local food provider, one of the barbecue places over
Right.
in Siler City, show up and serve the food after they packed, I think, 4,000 boxes of chickens and meals for 4. So that's good to know. All right, let's go a little personal here. Not too personal, but in the last, we're into September.
Right.
First part of this year, what's the best experience or the best story you can tell us about you being the CEO at the chamber?
Oh man, the best one. That's tough. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed getting to know a lot of people and finding what those needs are. I think probably our biggest success we weren't really expecting was the roundtables that me and Jack did together in Goldston and Siler City. Especially one in Goldston. We were expecting, maybe 10, 15 folks, and we ended up having about 40 show up. So that was pretty exciting and some good information. And it's really rewarding when you hear from folks like, hey, we're finding some real value in being a member of your chamber, even though, I don't have a nonprofit background. I've been doing it for a year and 3 months. So, it's just taking those needs that we see and listening to folks and building relationships and just finding the channels that open for us. But, I'd say the roundtables are probably the most rewarding thing we've done. That was really cool to see that turnout.
Jack, you can't use the same answer.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, there are so many things. So it's like to see the regionalization effort that's going on with Tri-River, that's an excellent benefit for us just because, so much of what we can sell as an organization is what our utility situation looks like. And Tri-River, extending their reach into Chatham County it's been really, really good for the town of Pittsboro. I know that they're continuing to have conversations with Siler City about, connecting into their system. So that's going to really help us a lot. And it seems like that's been a good relationship so far. We've also, we've done work with Innovative Construction Group, who announced that they were going to put a location in Siler City with a major investment and job creation number. So those are really good things for our organization. And then on the existing industry side, CTI Systems in Goldston committed to $1 million expansion and 20 additional jobs in a town as small as Goldston. That's a really major feat. So. There have been a lot of good things that have happened this year, but those are probably the top 3.
Right. And if you're a lawn mowing service, you're more than welcome to come out to the supplier event, because there's a guy running around right now who apparently didn't know we were going to be out here recording. But look, it doesn't matter. As Josh said, you're small, you're a little bit bigger.
Right.
Don't pass up this opportunity. It's better than sitting there going, okay, what am I going to do to create business? You've got that opportunity right here, and you've got an audience who's very receptive to coming out and buying your service. All right, so September 18th here at the Ag Center, 3 to 6. Any last thing folks need to know about this event?
It's cost free. It's a floating event. Come when you can. We want you to come out and participate, make a new connection, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Let's build our local economy more. Let's keep our dollars local.
There you go.
Keep the money in Chatham County. Let it work for us instead of leaving our county.
Right, let's keep it in the county, and like I said, my challenge to you, if you show up here, is you gotta meet at least one new person. If you don't even wanna know them. All right, Jack and Josh,
There you
two
go.
J's, be out here September 18th, meet some new people, and both of you are gonna be here.
Yeah, we'll be
Oh
here.
yeah.
All right, so
absolutely.
look,
Yeah.
if you're a wallflower, they're gonna find you and drag you to talk to people. So,
That's right.
let's get this done, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.